prepared for competition last year alone. You see, I was working in my cafe during the day, spending time with my young family in the evening, and roasting coffee into the night. With the remainder of my time, I prepared for competition, and in my haste, I made everything based on my taste alone. I fell short. But beyond falling short, I betrayed the spirit of my cafe, my team, my family. You see, I treated coffee as something I could perfect on my own. I treated my family and team as boys which I call them. So today I'm really proud to bring my team and my family together with me in this routine today. And so with the producers of the coffee that you're going to taste today. So just for all three courses, I'm going to be using the same anaerobic natural process Asia, the Peterson family, and Hacienda La Esmeralda in Boquete, Panama. Through many years of experimentation and dedication, the Petersons have found to grow some of the world's best coffee. Across the many lots, we employ multiple methods of cultivation and processing, believing that there's not a single best way to grow coffee. The best comes from being open to new methods. This coffee in particular was grown at 1,700 meters above sea level and underwent 3 days of freeze-drying as whole cherries. This increased the concentration of the sugars in the coffee before going for the next phase, which was 5 days of cold anaerobic fermentation, producing new volatile compounds that you will experience today, like mangoes and white grape. 35 days of climate-controlled drying results in a creamy texture in the coffee and allows those new volatiles to diffuse evenly from the coffee. To honor the Petersons' work, I roasted this coffee aggressively on a Stronghold electric roaster. The Stronghold has three mechanisms of heat transfer, conduction, convection, and radiation, allowing me to carefully control the heat application at every phase of the roast. This allowed me to achieve a coffee which was sweet, complex, without giving up those delicate volatile compounds that I mentioned earlier. I chose the Petersons coffee for another reason. They are a family running a business with many plots, many people, and many responsibilities. And I have a family of my own too. This is my son Levi. He's 2.5 years old, and no matter what kind of a day I've had, I can rely on 2 things to happen. One is seeing his warm smile, as you see in that photo, and receiving a warm hug from him. Judges, when I tasted this coffee, I tasted that mango note, which, as luck would have it, is Levi's favorite fruit. So while I pull your signature beverages, please take down the espresso tasting notes for today. You're going to be getting mango, red apple. It's going to have a medium weight, a juicy texture, correction, a creamy texture, and a lingering black tea finish. The recipe for your espressos today is 21 grams in, 42 grams out. And judges, just as there's no single best way to brew a coffee, there's no single best way to drink it either. So I have chosen to serve your espressos in a variable lid cup. I'm going to give you drinking instructions in a very short moment. But what I'd like to say about those variable lid cups is that the thin side gives you greater sweetness and greater acidity, while the thick side, marked with 2 dashes versus 1, gives you better texture and a lingering mouthfeel. Correction, a lingering aftertaste. Judges, as I place the espressos in front of you later, please refrain from drinking and wait for further drinking instructions. And we'll enjoy that together. Judges, I'd like to introduce you to someone else that solidified that decision in the coffee. This is a photo of me, Rachel Peterson, at World of Coffee in Bangkok, Thailand a couple months ago. What struck me about Rachel is how unhurried she was. She answered every question that I fielded at her and gave me the impression that there was nowhere else that she needed to be. The interaction with her was so warm and left a great impression on me, solidifying that decision to use their coffee in my routine today. Judges, as I mentioned, please assess them visually as I place them in front of you. It's yours. Judges, when you're ready, please stir your espressos 5 times front to back and assess taste descriptors from the thin side and all other attributes from the thick side of the glass. Please enjoy the warmth of my home and the work of the Petersons. Judges, are we ready? Just as there's no single best way to grow coffee, there's no best way to run about either. And the work of a team is what happens when those ways don't match. So I've placed in front of you a photo of Gordon. He's one of my outlet managers at Kyuukei, and he recently reminded me what the bar was for. See, a couple months ago, he and I had a bit of an argument. I had to go at him because I told him he was taking a little too long with a couple of regulars. Now, Gordon strongly disagreed, and it showed me a face of sadness, because as he expressed it, the way that he engaged himself with customers was the way he learned from me in the early days of the cafe. Now you see, that really made me sad because it showed me that I had changed from my original mission. All of a sudden, I was now focused on throughput and efficiency. A year of solo competition preparation did that. Now, Gordon challenged me to bring warmth back into my service, which I hope you guys are enjoying. But what I had wrong was that Gordon was not slowed down by those regulars. In fact, they were getting more out of their coffee as a result of it. Judges, I'm going to be steaming your milk to 50 degrees today. As bad fortune would have it, we all make mistakes sometimes. Today your milk blend is going to be cryo-desiccated pistachio milk and oat milk. Had there been whole cow's milk, it would have been a much fuller experience, but we make do with what we have. Thank you. So, this milk beverage will give you the following notes of hazelnut gravy and malted milk chocolate. It's going to have a viscous, heavy weight and a finish of hazelnut gravy. Now Peterson spent 35 days trying this coffee. Surely we can linger with the people that create our vocation and support our industry. Would I take time, please? Are you ready? That's good. So I shared a lot about the people that have brought warmth back into my service, and the signature beverage is what that looks like when, with that rekindled fire. So I'm starting from home with a mix of 90 grams of amazake, mango juice, and apple juice. Amazake was fermented together with rice and water. Pardon me. The amazake was made by inoculating rice and water with koji. Koji mold, Aspergillus rosea. This increases sweetness by the breaking down of the starches and giving good texture from the rice crop. This represents my home, the warmth that is reliable and unwavering. Next, 90 grams of a tarragon infusion, 2 grams of dry tarragon leaves steeped with 200 grams of hot water for 2 minutes. The perfect amount of time to draw out the anise from the extract and avoid the bitter tannins. This represents my team, because they change perceptions in customers every single day. Warm hospitality has the power to transform drinking and food experiences, and I hope that we continue to transform them every single day. This changes the note of red apple that was called into ginger ale. Lastly, a mix of cherry syrup and lime oleosaccharin adds sweetness and citrus acidity, fortifying the geisha notes of the classic geisha notes of citrus and stone fruit. This changes your experience into pink grapefruit and dark plum. One more correction: the amazake fortifies the flavors that I inherited the coffee, giving you pineapple jazz. I'm gonna steam your milk beverage because I couldn't bear to give you a cold signature beverage after talking about warmth so much. Judges, the sensory of your signature beverage comes in the following notes. I'm also adding, before that, the Peterson's coffee was showing me what warmth and craft done by a family look like. The notes of your signature beverage are pineapple jam, pink grapefruit, dark plum, and ginger ale. Can have a medium weight, a juicy texture, and a finish, once again, of ginger ale. Judges, the way I had gone about last year was, the challenge I had last year was never the coffee. It was the fact that I had gone at it alone. The Petersons showed me a craft, stand by family, Gordon challenged me to return to my roots and bring warmth back into my service. And my family was my unwavering source of warmth at the end of every day. Just with the warmth that I've received, I want to start a fire that spreads throughout our industry, because the arriving to and the departing from, a smile like Eli's, it should be the norm and not the exception.
A round of applause for Jonathan. Jonathan. Any more relax?
Yeah, I think it was managing the disappointment because I forgot to mix in house milk into my milk.
See, so you're using plant-based.
So I ended up just using whatever I had as a plant-based, which was maybe 55 grams of total milk. But you find out what you have. tempted to go and fill up the milk from the coffee, but I recommend it.
Well, it might taste better at the end of the day with the raw milk.
We'll see.
So I really like how you incorporate the tea because you mentioned last year you had the tea this time what we had, and you incorporate your tea, your family, and your home. You are also a dad. How do you find time to manage your practice, your routine, planning, etc.?
With much difficulty, well, I think I've got to give props to my wife and my sons. Well, for my sons, it's just time away from dad and from their dad. But for my wife, it's just being willing to hunker down in the fall with two boys.
Okay.
It's just excellent support from family as well. So,
Wonderful, wonderful.
right, and a great team to run the
Very shout out to your team. Anyone who
my absence.
your team, like any of you want to tell
Thomas, Jack, you, Ben, Brandon. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great performance, great job. Hope for the best. Another round of applause for Jonathan Teo from Kyuukei. We are going to take a